hour. Like he had hung out with his family. He had put on like an Adidas shirt, even though it's a Nike school, and he knew he was going to get in trouble. I mean, yeah, good times.
Well, it was a crazy game last night. First off, an interesting weekend. We'll just start on the Tennessee front. They take down Alabama State easily. It was hairy there with Campbell, with the Fighting Camels for a while. The Camels put up a good fight on Saturday night. I was watching that game at a local establishment, and then Tennessee just started hitting the ball out of the yard. They win that game 12-7. Last night they're down 4-3, heading into the top of the ninth inning, which we could keep going down this rabbit hole of the NCAA and hosting regionals and why teams are the road teams. Is just amazing to me. But it is what it is. It was the top of the ninth last night. Tennessee's trailing 4-3, and all of a sudden some magic happens for Tennessee like it's happened for a lot of the year. Jordan Beck with a deep shot to center field gets over the center fielder's head. There's a nice one-fingered victory salute from Jordan Beck rounding first base as well as he's heading into second base. Tennessee ties the game, and then they go on a barrage there in the top of the ninth inning, and they ultimately end up winning the game 9-6. That was a pretty clutch performance for Tennessee last night.
Yeah, they're just like a team that you just kind of know you better, if you get them down, if you have them on the ropes, like every time you have a chance to score, you better do it. And Georgia Tech had a couple really good chances, and Will Mabry did an incredible job out of the pen. But when it was continuing to stay 4-0, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be enough. And at some point, that's just not going to be enough. And that's why being in the losers bracket is just so hard, because they had to go for 3 innings with a guy with like a 7.39 ERA, like a 3.29 average against, and they just had nobody else because they had to play 18 innings yesterday. So that's why the winners bracket's hard to get out of that losers bracket. But Tennessee is just, I know it's their stadium, so we'll see if this happens if they get to Omaha. We'll see if they get to Omaha. Then we'll see if this happens there. But they just have a feeling about them like they're just not going to be denied.
They do, and they got some clutch hits last night in the top of the ninth by, obviously Evan Russell had a pretty interesting week and interesting weekend. We'll get into that coming up a little bit later. But Evan Russell with an RBI single in the top of the ninth. Christian Moore comes in as a pinch hitter and gets a 2-run hit in the game as well to give him a 7-4 lead at the time. So some clutch batting last night for Tennessee when they needed it the most. But it's just they continue to find kind of different ways to win. I mean, it was interesting yesterday. I thought the game heading into it was going to be a pretty high-scoring game, just given the way that Georgia Tech and Tennessee swing the bat. And, the final score ended up being 9-6, so I guess in some ways it was. But it really wasn't that way for most of the game. The pitching was pretty good for the most part. I think going into the ninth inning, it was 4-3. There were 7 runs combined. Only 3 of them were earned. So the pitching did pretty well last night for the most part, and then Tennessee finally got on top of it. But tell you what, that was a pretty fun atmosphere on the TV side of things. Just watching it from home, Lindsey Nelson Stadium was rocking throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and so loud, at the end, of course, as you had the huge rally. They end up, I think Tennessee fans. Well, sure, some Tennessee fans understand, that this could have been difficult. Campbell, Georgia Tech, really good offensive teams, but there's a little bit of maybe stunned silence at times. It's baseball and making some mistakes. Tennessee made 5 errors this weekend, so it was far from their best baseball. But yeah, you're right. The pitching was good, and Drew Beam really, I thought, was pitching well, and he induces that grounder that Cortland Lawson makes an error, and it's 2-0, and eventually they got to him. But the middle relief, those 2 guys, Kirby Connell and then Will Mabry. Those are the MVPs of the weekend. And when you have as many arms as Tennessee has, that's huge. Now Tennessee is, I think, Drew Beam and Chase Dollander. These guys are a big part of why they're here, and they're going to need more from them moving forward.
Yeah, no question about it. And Dollander, I don't think had his best stuff the other night, and a pretty short outing for him. So That's what we highlighted going into the weekend, though. When you have the depth that Tennessee has at pitching, that's a pretty important thing to have this time of year. And they were able to come through and get past that. And now I'm interested to see when you get into the Super Regional, kind of what their rotation looks like from that standpoint. But it was, I think the depth got put to the test for Tennessee a little bit on the mound, and they responded in a big way. So big win for the Vols last night. Obviously, we'll get a little bit more into the Vols coming up here in just a few minutes. How about the Vandy boys? They win 2 games yesterday, including one against Oregon State late last night. They win 8-1, which sets up a winner-take-all today, coming up a little bit later today for the Vandy boys. So it was looking bleak for Vanderbilt to begin the weekend, and now they found themselves in a winner-take-all game in the regional out west.
Yeah, it's awfully impressive, I got to say, and I'm surprised. But we talked about that going to the weekend too. Like, they have a lot of arms. They've got a lot of good, talented pitchers. Nobody was really pitching well other than Carter Holton. Not even Carter Hutton. Going into the weekend, yes. And so you get, and I honestly, I was surprised. First of all, 21-1. It's funny, like, I'm watching the broadcast. I was talking to Mitch Light yesterday. I was driving to Knoxville, and like on the broadcast, they're killing New Mexico State, and someone like the play-by-play guy's like, what is it about Vanderbilt today that's different from yesterday? I'm like, I think maybe it's because they're like playing New Mexico State and they're just destroying their pitching, would be my guess. But but obviously they looked like such a lacking confidence team in that loss to San Diego at the plate. Well, it was a good pitcher, really good pitcher. I mean, that's what happens. But I still had no idea what to expect yesterday. They killed New Mexico State, feel good, okay, but now you go from 21-1, you scored 22 runs in the 2 games yesterday. And even better than that, I mean, Nick Maldonado, I would not have predicted him to start. Well, he was fantastic, saves the bullpen. Then Devin Fattrell, midweek starter, freshman, starts, fantastic outing, again, saving arms. And they've got guys, I would guess Patrick Riley. I would guess Patrick Riley would be the starter today. Christian Little should be available for a lot. You could split the game basically between those guys, and they got a real chance here to this would be a heck of a job by Tim Corbin. And I know Vanderbilt's had a lot of success, and they've been here a lot. They've been to the Supers in Omaha, but this team, where it was Friday, if they get out of this and beat Oregon State twice in a row and win 4 in a row to get out, man, that's pretty special if they can figure it out.
Yeah, pretty darn impressive, and I think impressive to push it to this point, because when you lose the first game of the weekend, I thought, oh boy, this could be a rough one for Tim Corbin and company. But they've battled back, and look, the thing we've talked about all year with Vanderbilt is, it's just inconsistency, and now the offense seems to have come alive the last 3 games. And like you said, I mean, when you score 21 runs, like, some of that was Vanderbilt, some of that was also probably New Mexico State and the quality of opponent that they were playing. But if you can keep the bats hot today, I like Vanderbilt's chances heading in there today. I feel pretty good about the Doors heading in there today. I think they're going to win. Early call your shot Monday.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't know the exact shape of, like, the Oregon State staff. I mean, a team can't be that good and do what they've done this year and not, have some pretty good options at this point. But this is where Vanderbilt still has one of the most talented rosters out there, and just a lot of good baseball players. And Tim Corbin had to change the lineup after, Friday. They've had some guys struggling, but they're kind of rolling right now. I mean, let me try to do the math. So 43 runs in the last 2 days of baseball after, having a lot of the outings before that. So it should be really interesting. 3:00, and if anybody knows the channel, I feel like this baseball tournament is like 5 minutes before you find out which ESPN network it's on. But I mean, it'll be on something today.
ESPN the Ocho. Yeah, it'll be, you'll be able to find it somewhere. That's for sure. We're off and running here today on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Your thoughts on the Vandy boys and the Vols as well, punching their ticket to the Super Regional. We'll take your thoughts at 615-737-1025. What did we learn about Tennessee this weekend in their pursuit for a national championship? That's coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The NBA Finals are here, and so is your chance to score big on FanDuel. Throughout the Finals, FanDuel is giving new customers $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Bet the money line, point spread, player props, and so much more. Plus, you can combine your bets for an even bigger payday with a same-game parlay. For example, you can go with the Celtics, who I think are going to win the whole thing, or build it around Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Maybe even Steph Curry. Just sign up with the promo code JGM. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Join today with promo code JGM and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose. Make every game feel like Game 7 with FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable free bets expire 14 days after receipt and restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-89-9789.
Introducing the first Nashville location of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Midtown. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ with fun, effective, and empowering group boxing circuit workouts. Become a founding member today. Stop by the brand new studio in Midtown at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
If you missed the latest from Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
How much do you think is an appropriate preseason playing time for Traylon Burks?
Zero. You do the
dumb.
preseason. The preseason really is, over the last 6-7 years, has become a non-factor. I mean, I remember when Steve McNair would play a half of the third game, and it was like, I mean, the idea of playing that kind of quarterback a half of preseason football. I think Michael Vick broke his leg, and that really changed everything for what preseason football has become. But now there's 3 preseason games, not 4. So the third game becomes the fourth game where nobody who matters plays. And and then they have scrimmages for 2 of them, and you never play anybody after the scrimmage because they go full intensity in the scrimmages.
Tune in Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
On ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's on. It's happening.
Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry.
We may now begin our day.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik, intern Hanley here with you on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. By the way, if you're listening on the app, we are aware that apparently we're like twice the speed. We sound like some auctioneers. So we're looking at that. Yeah, which is, honestly, I kind of want to hear some of that. But
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, we're looking into that. We'll see what's going on there. In the meantime, you can watch us. We're streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. So Tennessee, Vanderbilt will be back in action tonight. See if they can punch their ticket to the Super Regional. Tennessee did punch their ticket to the Super Regional last night with a win against Georgia Tech. And it was quite the game last night for Tennessee, trailing 4-3 heading into the top of the 9th inning. And then all of a sudden the bats come alive for the Vols. The one thing that I think I learned about Tennessee this weekend that I was curious to see, that, I thought I knew this heading into the weekend, but there is a difference between postseason play and regular season play as well. This lineup is not afraid of the big moment. I think it's fair to say. We had the Jordan Beck hit last night that we discussed earlier in the show. You go back to the Campbell game. I mean, Drew Gilbert just destroyed that ball, as he's been known to do in the postseason. So the lineup, whether it's Trey Lipscomb last night, Jordan Beck is commonly referred to as Mike Honcho. There's a lot of guys last night that just, you're not afraid of the big moments with the bat. And, Joe, I think that's the thing that stands out to me about this Tennessee team is when you need a big hit, when you need a big play with this lineup, there's so many guys who have been there before and who have come up big in big moments that they're not afraid of the moment. And the Tennessee lineup struck again from that area last night. Some big-time hits, big-time moments, and I think that serves them well as they move forward. Now, to your point, like you said earlier, if they get through this super regional, you're not going to have the home crowd, which I do think helps them a ton at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. But none of these guys seem afraid from Tennessee in this lineup right now.
Well, Robby, I'm trying to help out people if we're still going fast. Let me know if that's about the right speed. Yeah, they just keep coming at you. And they got, you got these freshmen too. I mean, Christian Moore with really probably the biggest hit was Jordan Beck, but think about how important that Christian Moore hit was, considering Georgia Tech made a run, got 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth, and had the winning run at the plate.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was Hall, who is the coach's son and who was the guy who misplayed Beck's shot. So rough end of his career for him, for Georgia Tech. But there's just so many weapons in Tennessee lineup. Going down the list. I mean, Lawson is a guy lower in the order guy. I mean, Evan Russell is one away, I think, from either tying or surpassing Todd Helton for the program home run record, and he's near the bottom of the order. It's absurd, how many bats they have going now. I mean, we have plenty of time this week to talk about it. I will say Notre Dame has some of the best pitching in the country, so we'll see how that plays out. But you just get the feeling. Drew Gilbert just missed a home run earlier in the game. Yeah. He's just a problem, man. He is just a problem for people. Drew Gilbert and so much intensity too. And then obviously Beck. I mean, that's the thing that gets the most attention. They're here because the pitching has been the pitching numbers are actually way more eye-popping than the hitting numbers for Tennessee. But they've needed those guys to come through for them, and that's tough sometimes when you have the pressure and then you're down and you're not used to being down. So I think good out of this weekend for Tennessee, as long as they clean some things up and get some of their pitchers going.
What did you make of the Jordan Beck rounding first on his way to second with the middle finger to the outfield? That is generating a lot of conversation right now. Obviously, Tennessee fans like it, and they're defending their guy. Vanderbilt fans and other fans around the league and other fans around college baseball, not so much. Not a big fan of the Tennessee Vols and of Jordan Beck specifically in that moment. Did you see it at the time? And now that you've seen it since then, what did you think of Jordan Beck rounding first base, heading into second with the one-fingered victory salute?
Well, no, I can tell you that in the moment, not only did I not see it, the whole crew of this might be the wackiest beat collection I've been around in a while. The Tennessee baseball beat with friends of the show such as Mike Wilson and Wes Rucker, who I get to sit next to every time in the press box. For some reason, they sit me next to Wes. Not that that's a problem at all. I love you, Wes. But no, none of us saw it. None of us saw it in the moment. He's running the base now quickly. It hit Twitter. I mean, that's true. I mean, really, because it's not like if it was highlighted on the broadcast, I didn't notice that, and the TV's up in the press box, but I don't think it was, right?
No, it was totally Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. So yeah, I mean, it was actually a little bit later, that I saw it. and then of course you see the replay. You're like, wow, like he's just straight up just throwing the bird to, I guess, to the center fielder. I mean, I guess he's like, F you, the ball went over your head. But I mean, you could take it for a lot of things. Look, I can't get too mad at it because it allowed me to write the headline, Vols baseball bunch advances after deciding losing is for the bird. Athletic subscribers enjoy it. What a journalistic triumph. Honestly, this is one of those things that it's going to be overreacted to both ways. So people who hate him, like it's a crime of the century. I'm very interested to see the reactions to this today. Certainly, like you said, Vandy, Arkansas, people who hate Tennessee are like, probably gonna strong reactions. But I think you may see, some strong reactions possibly from people who don't, who aren't necessarily as fans of another team, who aren't already predisposed to hate them. But then also, like, Vols fans are gonna that's gonna be overreaction, and then Vols fans are gonna love it too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, yes, I love that middle finger. Oh, give me that middle finger.
You should throw the other one up next time too. Just go double bird.
Yeah, like the Mike Honcho jerseys with the the middle finger, the T-shirts or whatever, like they're coming. I mean, to me, it's like, I wrote this, but like I love like the inspecting the bat thing, right? Like that was hilarious. Or like the little ding, hit the finger on the plate. Like they've done all these things, the bat flips, the fur coats. Like they've had like these creative and fun things that have been part of this whole run that have infuriated people, right? But have been like to me really funny and clever. I mean, this is it's a kid who caught up in emotion. I mean, they were in some trouble. This is the 9th inning. You're down. And granted, it's not your season, but you're not expected to be there. And I mean, Jordan Beck is an emotional guy, and I don't know. I mean, he said after the game he had, quote, a blackout moment. So. It's one of those things in the moment. Things like this happen. I mean, Rashawn Golden, right? Was it Golden?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Double. Now that was like Tennessee down 30 to what? Yeah. In Bama, and it's just like, something good happened, and the double middles right in the Alabama fans' faces, But sometimes that happens. I mean, I remember after the game, he actually came to us in Tuscaloosa, and Butch brought him out, and he apologized. Whatever, it's fine. I mean, Beck probably should apologize last night. Like he probably should. And I'll bet somebody, I'm thinking that'll probably happen this week, right? To some
probably,
but it's just another thing. I mean, it adds to the whole thing. Like if they win, that's basically very symbolic of the whole thing. Like college baseball, the establishment, people who think you can't have fun in baseball, there it is. There's the digit for you, right? And if they lose, then like that GIF will absolutely be used one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
Like for Tennessee fans or against Tennessee fans. I mean, Vol Twitter's. I have to just. I should just mute everything but Vol Twitter today, actually, and just.
That's all it's going to be.
It's going to be fun. It's all it's going to be, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Well, I was watching it, and obviously I didn't see it live. I was watching the ball, and like you said, it wasn't on the broadcast, but it was all over Twitter within a couple of minutes after. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't think I've ever seen this happen. Like, I understand baseball is an emotional game, and I've seen pitchers kind of go crazy after they have a big strikeout or something like that. Obviously, we've seen, bat flips that go nuts. Like, I thought about Jose Bautista with the Blue Jays when he just crushed it and bat flipped it into about the 6th row in Toronto. But, like, I have never seen anyone while rounding the bases throwing the middle finger up to the center fielder. Like, I didn't even, obviously that's probably not something that should be a regular practice out there, but I didn't even really know how to react to it because I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Yeah. Kids, don't try this at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be like a breakaway dunk and turn back and flip one up and then cram it, Again, like Rashawn Golden, I mean, I suppose it's kind of similar, but he had gone through the end zone.
Yeah.
So he had scored. The play was dead. This was still.
He's in mid-stride.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing. At first, everybody's talking about double birds. I'm like, wow, no kidding, huh? But then I'm watching. It's like, no, I mean, his other arm he's using it to run because he has to get his butt to second base. So he wasn't able to double bird it. Maybe that's like the goal now. Can you get to a point where you can just hold them both up?
I'll say this:
around the bases,
like between stuff like this, and then like every time there's either a close play or a call that Vitello doesn't like, watching Vitello in the dugout is amazing. Like that play last night where I think it was the one they reviewed at first base with Drew Gilbert. He was out of the dugout, almost down the first baseline before the play was even over. Like he was just running down the first baseline. It's pretty entertaining to watch Tony Vitello out there.
Yeah. I think he actually contained it a bit.
He did
because of the like relative to like if it was like a midweek game against MTSU, he goes, he just gets tossed, But yeah, it's also like, I mean, I know this is how it goes, but like some of the like, and by the way, the ump definitely hosed Tennessee a couple times, and actually over the weekend it was a bad strike zone inconsistency. But there's also like some pitches that are like so obviously like either a ball or a strike. Like the whole play's like, guys, come on.
Yeah,
every single pitch that doesn't go your way is not bad. But you know what? It's a heck of an atmosphere. I mean, I'll be interested to see. People were paying more than $500 last week. I'll be interested to see what the Super brings for prices.
Yep, we'll continue to take your thoughts on Tennessee and Vanderbilt. 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
This is Mikhail Kralland, and this is Nashville.
The rebound shoveled in by Mikhail Kralland, and the Predators have tied it up on the power play.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Are you just riding through life, living, but not really living? If that sounds like you need to treat yourself to Cartronics, Nashville's premier one-stop shop for vehicle customization since 1982. Their team of install techs provide a 5-star experience from start to finish, ensuring your vehicle is the coolest ride on the block. From cars and trucks to boats, motorcycles, golf carts, and off-road vehicles, Cartronics specializes in personalizing your automotive experience. So visit their website at cartronics.audio and start living today.
Again this year, we at Cromwell Media are proud to support the American Cancer Society and the Coaches vs. Cancer Initiative. Over the years, Coaches vs. Cancer has raised $135 million to help support life-saving cancer research. Our Tennessee college basketball coaches are coming together today to do their part in fighting back. To make a donation to help support the 2022 Coaches vs. Cancer Tennessee Golf Classic or to find out more information on how to get involved in 2023, please visit coachesversuscancertn.com.
If you missed the latest from Darren, Donick, and Chase.
Look, I might find my future wife there. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. There you go.
Look,
everything is at Buc-ee's except a bar.
They may have a back room at Buc-ee's that you can do speed.
No, I don't know about that.
Let me finish.
When we say they have everything, we meant they have everything.
Let me finish. Speed dating. Speed dating, Chase.
Oh, my God.
Where you can do a 10-minute interview, okay?
Okay. Interview.
Oh, my goodness. Interview.
So the announcement at 5 o'clock is I've been relieved of my duty.
Oh, my goodness.
Tune in Darren, Donick, and Chase, weekdays 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Blood Assurance, this community's local blood centers, is hiring for several open positions in the Nashville area. Be a part of a company that helps save lives by providing the local hospitals with the much-needed life source of blood. They offer competitive pay, great benefits, paid time off, and retirement benefits. Blood Assurance has a family-friendly environment. Go to bloodassurance.org/careers. Again, that's bloodassurance.org/careers to apply.
Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Stomach Company is delivered.
There's a new way to hear 102.5 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators.
He scores!
Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
Hey Nashville, this is Gary Bettman. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5, 106.3 The Game. I got some tickets to give away to the Stadium Tour featuring Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts coming up at Nissan Stadium on June 30th. Be caller number 3 at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Caller number 3 will win a pair of tickets to the Stadium Tour featuring Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts coming up at Nissan Stadium on June 30th. 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode is live from Knoxville following the Tennessee Volunteers' regional win last night against Georgia Tech. They advanced to the Super Regionals to take on Notre Dame. We'll have Mike Wilson from the Knoxville News Sentinel coming up at 7:30 here today on the show. Joe, what did you make of the Evan Russell situation over the weekend? Obviously, he did not play on Friday against Alabama State, and it was honestly kind of handled strangely by Tennessee, we thought at first. Vitello comes out after the game and says that he was sick and was not available and did not know his availability for the next day. And then Danny White released a statement the next morning about Evan Russell after some comments on a broadcast. We're speculating really all sorts of stuff that I believe an Arkansas fan started on Twitter about possible PED use from Evan Russell. Obviously, that did not end up being the case. Evan Russell was cleared to play on Saturday. He got in the game late Saturday and then started yesterday as well against Georgia Tech. What did you make of the Evan Russell situation over the weekend and the way that it was handled?
Well, Robby, are we still having this issue?
I don't know.
I need to hear us. What if I do this? I talk like this. I mean, what would this be? I mean, my God, that would just be like, no. All right.
So the people in the app love you right now.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with this. This was one of the biggest, just absolute travesties I've seen in terms of a professional media member going with something that's not. I mean, actually, I don't know if I should have, in 3 hours of pre-show meeting, and not one time do I mention to Michelle that the audio of this would be good. But if we can get it at some point, he doesn't say, according to a report, according to this or that. He just, Troy Eklund.
Yeah.
He just says it like it's fact.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. And, I know that Tennessee has demanded an apology. He gave an apology. And then he gave, I think, a better apology. I'm sure he feels bad about it. Like, I don't think this is – I understand the connection here. He's in Arkansas. Go ahead.
We've got that audio, so let's just go ahead and play it, and let's just show you what was happening on the ESPN broadcast as it relates to Evan Russell and the Tennessee Volunteers. Here's what Troy Eklund had to say.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Failed a drug test, and so Evan Russell, is suspended for the rest of the season. So Tennessee's going to have the whole rest of the team tested tomorrow, or the NCAA is. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's just a one-player thing or if that is going to be throughout that whole entire program. Performance-enhancing drugs is what it was said. That's a big blow to the Vols. balls.
I think that's.
So that was on the broadcast. Just going with it. And by the way, this came from an Arkansas fan who's a pretty admitted troll. Like, I had no clue who this person was before this weekend, but I mean, the guy just ran with it on ESPN as if it was gospel. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. Now, granted, I mean, someone else saw that and texted him or something.
Very well could have.
Like, I don't know. But regardless, the only place that you could find that, like, you could find it, that one Arkansas fan who tweeted it in all caps, and then I'm sure you could go to some message boards of, like, various SEC schools, but I could be forgetting something, but I can't recall. Like, there's definitely instances of, well, shoot, we've done it. I mean, I've done it, right? Like, someone on our text line is like, Schefter reported, right, Burks had this or that or whatever it was, right? And now, granted, we said, okay, someone on the text line said this. Okay, that's interesting. And then we figured it out. I mean, you can get caught doing these things, but at least then say where you heard it. I mean, like, the only way you say it the way he said it is if a Tennessee press release is sitting in front of you on the desk, Yes. And it's just, man. So, look, he played at Arkansas. He's on the Arkansas broadcast. Arkansas, clearly, I think that there's some kind of thing. Obviously, Tony Vitello was an assistant there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd love to. Maybe we should if we could do a poll to figure out which fan base hates Tennessee baseball more, Vanderbilt or Arkansas. That would be interesting too. But there's just bad blood. I mean, Dave Van Horn takes a shot at Vitello on that program. Like, he's taken a few. So you have that built in here. I don't think that this was something related to that, but of course it's just going to make it worse, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just think he made a ridiculous mistake that he needs to learn from it. Like, dude, like, never do that again. I mean, he's on an ESPN broadcast. He's on a national broadcast of a college baseball game. He's trying to, do this job. And by the way, they moved him off Tennessee. They didn't suspend him or anything. He did the Arkansas-Oklahoma State game the next day. But so I don't think it's like some like hate Tennessee Arkansas thing, but it makes the optics even worse, right? And it's just terrible you think about the Russells. And here's one thing I'll tell you is Friday when first of all, I think Tennessee could have handled it better because the press release is like, Tony Vitello will address it afterward. And that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah. Is
like, oh, he's in some kind of trouble. And actually, when Vitello said he was sick, someone told me, like, that's not the whole story. But that's all I got. Like, okay, so what does that mean?
Right.
So then this thing is out there, and it's like, okay, wow. But if that was the case, then, that's okay. So you had a little time of, like, uncertainty in there. And then it kind of all adds up when his dad tweets about the fact that he, has had this, like, anxiety and that he basically had to step back, because that's one of those things that, you're not going to put that in a press release, right?
No.
So it actually makes sense from the Tennessee perspective. I think maybe you just say more generalities right away. Like, you just say, like, he's ill. And then that can be a catch-all for whatever it is. And then that I think that's the one thing they should have done differently.
Yeah, agreed.
Is said that out front. But you got to feel for that family. First of all, this is still put out in the world. I mean, it's not going to. Everybody knows it's bunk now, but it's still put out in the world. Like, you can probably Google now Evan Russell and PEDs, and you can find something from now on for the rest of time, which sucks. And then it also forces the hand of the family to basically say, what the situation is. I will say I was impressed with, like, how people receive that news, which I think is another, and we've talked about these things a lot, in sports, how differently that's viewed now when people talk about anxiety, depression, things like that. So that was cool to see.
I think we just went Robo Joe. That's okay.
Oh no, he's frozen.
We'll get Joe back. I thought it was
not, but they need him, and he played well, and he had an RBI single a night. So timer in terms of
he's back. He's back at this point. I thought it was really cool. Also on Friday when Charlie Taylor was in there in Evan Russell's place, I thought he played really well at that point, and the crowd reaction every time he got up to bat was really, really cool. So good stuff there from Charlie Taylor on Friday night, and then Evan Russell back in there over the weekend as well. We'll continue to take your thoughts, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Vanderbilt in action today, seeing if they can punch their ticket to the Super Regional as well, taking on Oregon State once again. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up on the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. A wild weekend in both over the weekend. That's next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Stomach Company is delivered.
There's a new way to hear 102.5 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators.
Scores!
Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Pleasant start this morning, and we'll be dry for the morning, but we will see scattered showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon, some of which could be on the stronger side.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Upgrade your diamond studs this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Yes, you can do it now at Genesis Diamonds. It's our best financing of the year. Not just on diamond studs, but rings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So those 2-carat studs, just $85 a month. One-of-a-kind designer jewelry also included in this spectacular offer. Only available until June 18th, and only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
For the love of the climb, for the love of the fall, for the love of knowing your kids' laughter is the sweetest music there is, for the love of Tennessee, travel safe. Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
When Smashville wants to rock. We are Nashville's rock station. 102.9 The Buzz.
Darren McFarland.
That's the most personality I think I've heard.
Willie Donick.
Give me credit. I said it.
Chase McCabe.
I still talk to people outside of this building.
The DDC. Weekdays from 10 to 2.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
And Poole with the ball. Launches. Oh! Money!
flat out get it done. Recognizing the clock dwindling down, knocks down the long ball. Good old-fashioned game of pool.
Nice buzzer beater and dad joke last night. That was good stuff. Buzzer beater by Jordan Poole. Warriors win 107-88 last night in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. They even up that series 1-1. Jordan Poole with a nice game last night for the Warriors. Nice pool party. Steph Curry leading the way with 29 points for Golden State last night. You had Draymond Green getting into a tussle with half of the Boston Celtics last night as well. And now this series is all squared up at 1, heading back to Boston for Game 3. So nice response last night from Golden State. It went about the way that I think you thought it would, Joe Rexrode, last night.
Yeah, this happens a lot. I swear, Game 1 of a lot of series, but like I feel like especially the NBA Finals, because there's so much attention. Maybe whatever happens in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, like I swear, so many years, like it's massive overreaction to that, and that happened again here, so the haters had to take one there. Are you hearing me clearly? I'm now worried. I'm worried about my audio.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Okay, good. Not too fast, not Robo Joe, not in a submarine like Big Joe says. Everything's okay.
You sound okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was I'm not going to lie. I was in the press box last night, and you better believe that I had this game streaming on my phone. And I just thought Draymond, I don't know what his line was. And, look, who knows? It can always come back around on you. And he's going to be utterly just – I mean, he's trying to, like, push Grant Williams around and, Jaylen Brown, that thing, he kept his foot on his head. And But I think that Draymond Green, like, kind of reminded me of, like, how Bill Laimbeer used to do it for the Pistons. He distracts an opponent, and he actually kind of controlled that game. He's one of those things, like his numbers sometimes are like very, a lot of times are very pedestrian, but he can control games, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I thought they were so much better. Obviously, they didn't let Horford do anything, but I think they had just a much better plan. And then, Steph going nuts. Steph right now is just absurd. If they get Clay going, then Boston's really in trouble. But right now, it still looks to me like a 7-game series.
Clay 4 of 19 from the field last night, 1 of 8 from 3, so did not shoot the ball very well last night. But Al Horford, I mean, the guy was unbelievable in Game 1. What do you have, 25, 26 in Game 1?
26.
And last night held to 2 points and only 4 shots last night too. So they did a good job of just taking Horford basically out of the game offensively.
Yeah, they went from, we can just let him shoot, to, okay, we can't let him shoot. Yeah. I mean, basically Horford just was able to sit out there and just launch that beautiful looking shot unchecked in Game 1. So it'll be interesting. Jordan Poole was really bad in Game 1, like really bad. And he was that late third, just a couple threes. He hit one of them from, 40 feet was pretty good. So that's a big deal for Golden State. And Gary Payton is a big deal, getting him back. Defensively, he's exactly what they need in this series. So I heard, Tim Kawakami, who writes for The Athletic, was saying in practice he's not even using his left arm. Like he's it's so weird, so I'm like, okay, there's no way he's going to play then, right? But he played, and he was even going to the hole and hitting the deck, and man, you cringe a little bit, but that's a big addition to the lineup defensively.